His head was bent in sorrow, green scales fell like rain. Hey, y'all, come on in. You're here on a very special day.
We have our first soap today from Ethos Grooming Essentials.
It's a beautiful morning with the Barbershop Duet.
Hi, I'm Marcus Klinger with Klinger Vocal Studio.
And I'm Sarah Vincent with Sarah Vincent Virtual Pilates.
But on Wednesdays and Saturdays,
we are the Barbershop Duet.
Hey, y'all, come on in. Thank you for finding our little barbershop. If you happen to be here during one of the live premieres on YouTube, why? Come on in the live chat. Meet the Whiff Pack, cool group of our friends hanging out from all over the world, and they'd love it if you were there too. And for our mention today, we would like to mention the Great Texas Wet Shavers Meetup that happened in Austin last weekend, hosted by Barry Bedford. And y'all, here are pictures of our friends from the Whiff Pack, most likely in the chat right now, of Eric and Diana, tall Texan, and his wife, along with Selena, meeting up for the first time in person. And here is her picture with Peter Chakalis and Monica from Vanulet. Y'all, good times were had by all, but mostly we are so happy that all of our friends got to actually meet up and see each other in real life. Selena drove 1,750 miles just to be there with 3 kiddos in the car. Hey, kids!
Mad props, girl. I don't know how you did it. I'm just glad that you are home safely. And thank you, Michael McFarland, for helping us get our hands on this soap. Let's meet it.
All right, y'all. A little while ago in this hobby, I started hearing about a dragon being discussed in hushed tones over at Ethos Grooming Essentials because Frank had secured a small supply of actual Cambodian oud that he used in this soap. Now, y'all, oud can go for thousands and thousands of dollars for just a few ounces of it, especially the real stuff. And I'm not even sure if anything we've covered on this show has contained actual oud or more of the perfumer's fantasy version of that oud. We were watching Ryan Perfumes the other day, and he was smelling a few very small samples of actual oud that he had secured, and they were thousands of dollars just for the milliliters that he had sitting in front of him. And he had very interesting things to say about each one. Oud is one of the most mysterious and beautiful scents in the wet shaving world, mostly because of what it does to the other notes and the things it helps bring out and the emotions attached, which is why I think this is cool that this soap is called Tears of a Dragon. And y'all, our dear friend Michael McFarland of the Latherbound channel recently found this soap on a buy-sell trade group, brand new, and sent it to us at his cost. He really could have jacked up the price on this, but he didn't. And then to top it off, he reached out to Frank, who was able to make us a splash from the very last of his supply. But y'all, we bring you glad tidings of great joy. Frank was able to procure another small amount of the Cambodian oud that you will find in this soap, and there is another small batch of this coming out in the fall of 2026. So from the sales page at ethosgroomingessentials.com.
Tears of a Dragon F-Base Shave Soap is made with a luxurious and sophisticated aroma blend with a poetic touch. The key components, dragon's beard, oud, rose, and a hint of patchouli absolute, create a rich and layered olfactory experience. The fragrance includes dragon's beard at the core of its identity, evoking a mystical, slightly smoky and resinous note reminiscent of ancient woods or incense. Rose is the tears shed by the dragon, adding a romantic, soft, and velvety floral sweetness. Oud is deep, opulent, and earthy, bringing strength and longevity to the blend. Finally, patchouli absolute adds a grounding touch with its earthy, slightly spicy character, enhancing the projection. The absence of synthetic chemicals ensures a pure, all-natural aroma, perfect for those who appreciate artisanal, luxurious scents. It's a blend that feels regal, exotic, and timeless.
I'll be regal, you could be exotic, she'll be timeless.
There you go.
Dragon's Beard is a rich, deeply sweet, earthy, and warm fragrance that bridges the gap between amber, dark patchouli, incense, and warm vanilla. Well, that makes me think a lot less of Pete's Dragon and more like the Grogans from the beginning of the movie. You know, Shelley Winters.
So thank you so much, Michael, for making this episode possible. Let's let him out of the box.
All right, y'all, this is the box that we got from Michael initially. There we go. Look at that label. Y'all, how beautiful. Look at his rosy tears. Right? And this is the box that contains the splash that we're sure they didn't charge us enough for. Thanks, y'all. Let's see. He also said he threw in a little surprised that something
man.
might have fallen into the box. Whoa!
did!
And I think I see what it is from Heritage Hill, a brand new soap maker to us. This is
Founder's Cut. Oh, another new artisan for us.
Barbershop, right? Ooh. Well, we'll put this over here for an upcoming episode. Oh, look.
I'm glad they wrapped that well. I was a little nervous.
Beautifully, this is packaged. Y'all, that's going nowhere. On the Ryan Perfume channel, when he was smelling one of his oud samples, he looked up at the camera and said, "Oh my God, this is glorious. It smells like a hamster's cage." What? And here's the splash in its special bag, so we don't smell anything quite yet. All right, y'all, come along with us. We're going to go hunting dragons for this first impression. All right, y'all, get my nose ready for a trip to far-off Cambodia for this first impression and perhaps our very first soap with actual oud in it. All right, here we go. Oh, look at that pour.
Okay.
Beautiful. Okay. Oh, get out of town. Get out of town. Are you kidding me? This is unreal. The rose is the first thing that greets me, but only like the dragon is holding it out for me, letting me know that he's kind and gentle, and I'm ready for an adventure. Y'all, this is about how the oud sits under the surface and gives everything this ginormous hug from down below. A realer rose than I have ever experienced in the wet shaving world. These are my grandmother's rose bushes at her house in Stockton, California, when I was growing up, that she labored over. And y'all, the magic of this is just as the rose begins to open, you are reminded that you are in a dragon's den, dark, earthy, and smoky. But all of those things don't pull against the true character of the rose. They just give it a spotlight, a bright streak of sun in the darkness so that you can sense both evenly. And y'all, while that oud is deep, rich, earthy, and wide, it has a way of presenting clean over the top of it in the way that a musk would, but it's not being done with a musk. It's being done with a smoke. It's being done with an incense. Oh, now I get the dragon's breath idea. Right. And y'all, in many cultures, oud is applied with fire. It's lit like an incense, and then the wearer will cover themselves with a cloth and let the smoke envelop them, and that's how they perfume themselves. There's a sense of that in this. And y'all, I kind of thought the sweetness of the rose and the familiarity of the patchouli would be used to take the edges off of the oud and make it more palatable. No, that is not what's happening here. The oud is being used to break open the rose, to break open the patchouli, and let me dive down into those scent notes in ways I was never able to do before. It's like changing the light on stage or changing the color of the canvas that your favorite artwork is sitting on, and it's going to be able to let you see it in an entirely new way, in a much deeper form. And y'all, you know how when you smell your grandmother's roses, it starts with that beautiful honey-ish heart of the red rose and then starts climbing up the sweet ladder as your whiff gets deeper? The oud has a way of arresting that, cutting off the top 2/3 of the ladder so that your nose can do a time traveling experiment and freeze at that exact moment that you first start taking in that rose sense, so the heart of the rose can be explored without its sweetness turning it too feminine, without its sweetness distracting you with all of those higher senses of the rose itself. And it's almost like the patchouli is upside down. The grassiness, the herbiness of the patchouli that you get as you continue your whiff into patchouli isn't there. It's just the sweet gourmandy part of the patchouli that meets you along with the rose. And I've been watching speedrun videos of King's Quest games, some of my favorite Sierra computer games from back in the 80s. And there's a scene where King Graham walks into a dragon's den and it's smoky and hazy. This is what that would smell like. And that's the thing about the haze from the dragon's breath itself. It's not light. The streaks of light in this are from the other scent notes. It stays dark and mysterious, but you just can't get enough of it. You know where this has taken me? To the night that I was actually able to get into the Magic Castle in Hollywood, California, a members-only private club for magicians and celebrities, and I did see a bunch of celebrities there that night. But it's one of the most mysterious places you will ever visit. When you walk into the room where they check you in, it's about the size of 3 or 4 phone booths, and there's no other door. Once they verify who you are, they pull on a special book, and the bookcase slides open, and you walk in to Irma's parlor, where a ghost is playing the piano and taking requests. And there's always a subtle haze in the air, so you can almost sense, feel, and smell the magic that you're about to experience from world-class magicians taking you to crazy places. That's what this makes me think of and feel like. It's where they used to hold the Houdini seances every Halloween. It's been there that long. Yeah, this is my new favorite rose in all of the wet shaving world. It just makes me think of the rose on Thurston's lapel when he went out to do his magic act in 1920. All right, take this in. I'm so curious to see what you think.
Here's a dragon. Oh, this is a nice thick tub, by the way.
It really is.
I'm just saying. Smells expensive, I have to say.
Right.
There is nuance, there's depth, but there is something like charming and whimsical all at the same time. It doesn't have more in it than it needs to have. It's like the exact precise calculations you would need to make this blend hit the way that it does. I really get that like gentle, smoky, but sweet kind of way coming in. I think the sweet side is actually coming more from the rose, but it's blending so well with that oody, dragon's bloody, kind of woodsy, secretive side that it really just becomes part of the same whiff, bringing you in. Nothing gets too bright. It gets bold, but it doesn't get too clean or too pretty at the top. But I like how strong and confident the scent is. Yeah. It does have a great potency, by the way. I have to say this is pretty intense in the best of ways.
That's a great distinction, too. The oud does present sweet in this somehow, in all of its oody character.
It's almost like when you go to a fancy restaurant and you crack the peppercorns in front of you on the fire. Like, it just has depth to what you think you're gonna get. If you keep diving in, there are like way more layers to this than you're expecting. The incense is recognizable as incense, but as soon as your brain tries to file it, then it flips for me. Yeah. Then I can tell it's not an incense that I know, and I think that's how I can tell it is the legit oud portion that's creating the incense way in. It doesn't go charcoaly, but I do get that haze in the air. Not scary, but just almost like fog hanging low over water. It's just everly present.
And it does smell like an adjective I'm rarely able to say on this show, but my soul is always searching for: mysterious. This will give you an air of mystery.
But somehow it's not scary. Right. Like, I do feel safe. I kind of feel like in Shrek when you meet the dragon in that location. Like, there's something about those grays and deep purples and hues and then the red eyes that you see pop out. Like, I really connect to this somehow. Like, at first you're like, ooh, she's scary. And then you're like, oh, she's not. I still can't figure out the magic that they're using with the rose. There is something that you think it's the rose you know, and then again, the more you dive in, it just turns up the quality and the intensity and the layers. Like, it almost doesn't seem like it could be real. It's too pretty of a rose somehow. Maybe because they're the tears. I don't know.
Well, it's how the oud breaks it open so that you can explore rose in a very different way.
I could easily see how this could be somebody's signature scent. Like, it just has that high EDP cologne quality. Like, I don't think it has a feminine, masculine send off. They are blended so well that you don't want to pull it apart and try to decide who it should be on.
I wasn't even thinking if it was going to be masculine or feminine. It's way more of a vibe.
As a perfumer, I don't know how you can get to this point and know the exact ratios of how this scent is supposed to blend as well as it is. Like, there's nothing about this that I would change, but I think as a perfumer, that must be hard to get to just know, like, nope, I think we finally hit where everything's lying where it should be, because they have. It's like a magical little spell is happening as you whiff this.
Jean Carlos would be proud of you, Frank.
I'm very glad that this is our first one from Ethos, because I think it's making a statement.
I was looking at their webpage as a Christmas one. I'm kind of curious about, too.
At first, I thought this was like more winter and fall because of the darks that are coming through, but I think the magic of that kind of clean, incensey rose really could kind of go through just as an evening scent overall. Right. I don't get like hot summertime, but I do feel like this is like a special soap. Like, you'd want to wear it for special events or like a date night thing. Like, you'd plan when you want to use this one. It has like sacred memories that'll go with it.
And as a night owl, this feels for me like midnight. This is not a morning shave for me.
There's something a little brave about it, but it's bold. It's confident. Like, it's kind of brings its way through. Like, I feel like if I needed to be more confident or feel more solid standing there, this would give you the one to go to.
And this almost gives me the sense of an amber, but a black one. A dark, deep amber.
Now, we've had a few scents that have dragon's blood in it, like Draconis or certain other ones that kind of play off of this, but they come at it a very different way. So I think it's kind of cool to go into this pretending I don't know anything in the category. Like, we've smelled oud before, but not like this. We smelled rose before, but not like this. So I kind of like letting these be their own versions, like a special top tier version of those scents, and how they're interacting is almost creating new scent notes within those little windows. All right, y'all, I'm curious to see how this magicalness turns into a lather and go back to these scent notes.
All right, y'all, back to the sales page at ethosgroomingessentials.com. We start with scent notes of dragon's beard, oud, rose, and a hint of patchouli. Those are your 4 juggling pins, and they are in the world's perfect balance in this.
I think after reading Patchouli Absolute, that was the layer that I needed. It wasn't that it went boozy, but there was something about it at the end that had that kind of amber, little fiery send-off, and I think it's in there.
Patchouli and I didn't used to be friends, but it's this part of the patchouli that I fell in love with. The clean, sweet part that's almost gourmandy. That's all that's in here. Nothing grassy.
No.
Nothing herby about it at all. Nothing scritchy. Nothing pokey.
No.
That's the cool thing.
But again, if we read that in reverse, so that's like where I leave my whiff, and I think it's more than a hint, I have to say, at least how it's working here. The rose needs to be like one of those museum piece roses that looks too pretty to touch or to even take a whiff of. It's just turned up onto its own scale that it's not a normal rose. There's magic that has happened here. It's almost, what's the one in Beauty and the Beast, and it's in the thing, and it's all sparkly and lit up. Like there's just something too pretty about it to even breathe on.
And it's so dark red, it's almost black.
Yep.
That's the rose this is.
It almost has like a velvety texture. Like I just get texture to the rose.
And we grabbed 2 of our most luxurious pieces of hardware for today's episode. This is our Brusso and Dove porcelain shaving bowl, a gift to the show from David. Thank you, buddy. And this is my tiki-inspired shave brush from Craig at Opus Brush. Look at that tiki face. It is CNC machined. Is that not gorgeous? And these are our bougie sticks from Amazon.com. They are waxing sticks, so we don't contaminate ourselves. Oh, it's got a delightfully soft presentation, but there's some bite back to the stick as you start to scoop. And I'm just going to use this much into the bottom of the bowl. Oh, I am getting new whiffs.
Yeah, already?
From here. Whoa, hold on.
I think spicy is a word that just kicked in.
Yeah. Oh, the oud's breaking loose.
Yay.
Smell that. Smell how it's breaking open the rose and the patchouli even more.
Okay, that oddly got a little more daytime for me now. Like it kind of cleaned up a little.
And some actual tears coming from our bougie sprayer here. All right, y'all, and we're taking our dry brush. I'm just going to let the bristles get a little bit wet from the water we sprayed on top, but I'm just going to start transferring the soap up onto the bristles first before I really start making a lather. Oh, that soap is just jumping up onto these badger bristles like crazy. Look at this. It's almost gone from the bowl. And that's what we want, y'all. We want the lather to be built from within the bristles of the brush against the pattern at the bottom of this bowl. So first, we're going to draw it all up like that. See, there's hardly any left. It's all hiding right there amongst the trees. And then I'm going to grab the rest of the water. Check this out. And just start spinning. And it's already asking for a little bit more of a drink. Hold on. All right. What are the ingredients?
Let's see if I can find it here.
The first
okay.
few.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot, actually. So we're going to go with the top row. Aloe vera juice, agarwood hydrosol, rose floral water, stearic acid, beef tallow, duck fat, shea butter, castor oil, cocoa butter, kapukaku butter, glycerin, potassium stearate, sheep milk, camel milk. There's a lot happening, and that's only the first 2 rows, my friends.
I'd walk a mile for a camel.
Oh, and this is for the fragrance portion, I think. Aroma blend of organic Cambodian oud, EO, oud resin, rose damask absolute, amber essential oils, East Indian complex, orange butter, French clay. Oh, then this will go back into some of the other stuff.
Y'all, this is thickening up in a way I don't know if I've quite experienced before, especially using a badger knot, which is notorious for being a little bit stingy with the lather. Oh, not here. Look at this.
Oh, man.
Okay, this is the first time with this bowl that you can't see a single bit of the pattern
it's
on
gone.
The bottom of it because the soap is so deliciously thick.
And you can even see in the knot itself, it's like it's sponged up all of the soap in there.
Y'all, this tiki has never looked like this.
That splay is showing off.
Oh my, I know we never talk about lather here on the Barbershop Duet, but look at this.
Oy, oy, oy.
And this is something you will only find here in the Barbershop Duet. This is the Little Jackie paper whiff on 3. 1, 2. That is magic. That's magic. Oh, it's
it
even
opened
better
up there.
in this. I almost
Yeah.
get sort of a chocolatey note from that after smelling this.
Mhm. Yeah, this seems a little almost more gourmandy or a tighter kind of scent base. That has spread out. A little bit more air got under that oody incense.
A midnight amber, to be sure. What a wild scent this is. And y'all, we did love watching our lather-bound videos, Michael. You need to get back on that. Make us some more, buddy. But we don't do shaving here in the Barbershop Duet. We thought you might like to see what this lather looks like when it coats and covers. Look at this, y'all.
Ooh, it even smells lovely getting closer to your nose that whole time.
Deep, rich, and luxurious.
Super slick in a different way than I was expecting, by the way.
Oh.
It's padded, but I feel like there's space in there.
You are right. Like, I can very easily get under my stubble,
Exactly.
but it's really letting me feel every single hair standing up at attention for my razor.
And I don't know if we can hold out any longer, but we do have a splash waiting over in the Dragon's Den. Let's go a little deeper.
And y'all, the intensity on this is about a 4, a 3.5, or a 4
Yep.
on a scale of 1 to 5. But here's the thing. You know how when you're listening to your favorite music in your best headphones, you almost can't turn it up loud enough? That's this. I still can't quite get enough of it. And look at this beautiful splash bottle, and look at the color of this juice, y'all.
Look at that.
All right, let's do this together. Give me a little bit there.
I don't think we'll complain if this one gets on the dog.
No, that's fine. All right. Oh.
Oh, she woke up. Yeah?
Y'all, I know why. I know why. In the soap, the rose was the star. In this, the oud
And the
The
patchouli absolute.
is the
Is that
star.
what that is? It's super clean and slightly ambery.
is crazy.
Okay, this has almost like a citrusy finish. What is that coming from? There's still some crazy depths going on in here, but now I feel like there's much more sunshine in this lion's den.
This is doing clean in an entirely new way. Like, it's making clean out of the dirties. I don't know how it's doing that. It's almost like in the theater when you take a bright blue light, a bright magenta light, and a bright yellow light, and you combine them and you think it's just going to get darker, and it doesn't. You combine those and it turns white, clear white light. That's how the oud and the patchouli are coming together in this. Y'all.
All right, I'm really glad we waited so that you could get us the splash in time,
Oh my
Michael,
God.
because this is a whole different tier to this whip.
You were so right about that.
Yep. We always stress Michael.
And y'all, I so appreciate being given an oud that would need to be on the pricier side just to be able to make it available. But I have never smelled anything like this. You were right at the beginning when you said this smells like money.
It does, but it has this magical, almost ethereal layer to it that it feels like we shouldn't be able to have it.
And certain things keep popping their heads up in the splash that I never even noticed in the soap. And again, all of them being broken open by the oud. The oud is like the glasses I'm putting on that are taking me to Oz, taking me to Wonderland.
I feel like this has a little bit more scent intensity. I would put it more in the aftershave splash cologne kind of lane. It just seems like this is going to stay with me. It has a lot more potency in a good way.
And I think the reason my brain keeps going to magician even more is that's somebody who understands mystery, transfiguration, puzzlements, impossibilities that are somehow made real. That's what's going on in this. How is this oud different for you than some of the synthetics that we've smelled before?
Somehow I can tell it's real. I don't know why, but at my first whiff, I got a visualization of obsidian or something that you'd have to dig deep to the earth's core or it's just gold if you find it. That's all there is. Something about that, nature's way of making it the most beautiful thing. I don't know how, but that comes through in the whiff.
I'm so glad you're here. If gold had a scent, this would be it.
But nature's gift of its expense. Somehow I can tell it's real. It's not our best attempt.
And y'all, we've just had the fastest meeting we've ever had to decide to declare this part of our 2026 masterpiece collection. Absolutely one of the richest, most beautiful, darkest, mysterious soaps we have ever smelled.
I have to say, to me, the scent intensity on both of these are more like a 4.5. Every time I take a whiff of this, I'm like, no, it's more intense, like in a good way. But like my nose still can't get enough.
That's just it. Like turning up my favorite music higher than 10, maybe to 11.
Yep.
I need to smell even more of this. And I'm not sure how, but the rose is almost disappearing into the oud itself. So in this, I'm getting the oud, then the rose, then the patchouli. Wow.
I love that it's named Tears of a Dragon, because I feel like that is the exact concept of oud. Like, it's so hard to even find. Like, how would you find Tears of a Dragon?
So it's pretty simple, y'all. Just be Marcus and Sarah, who have friends with extraordinary noses, and every once in a while, one of them's going to reach out and say, y'all, there is something you really need to experience just to complete your journey into this world. And artisans like Frank, who are willing to help us by putting us together a bottle of our very own splash from the last of his supply. And again, letting us know that this dragon may be back in the fall for anyone who might like to experience it too. And you are going to get your own. So head over to ethosgroomingessentials.com where you'll find this and all kinds of other cool stuff. Well, I've had my shave, y'all, with Tears of a Dragon. An absolutely luxurious shave. Thick, padded, comfortable, smooth. The post-shave feel, unbelievable. And I loved being steeped in this scent in my shave mirror. And then, as my day wore merrily forward with the splash on my shoulder. These are generally a little bit more than we'd be able to spend here in our barbershop. So we are so grateful to Frank and Michael for helping us add these to the collection. Thank you, friends. Welcome to Messages.
So for our June giveaway, we wanted to give you a chance to get $25 to Zingari Man.
That's right, y'all, and all you have to do to be eligible for this giveaway is send us an email here to we sent you at thebarbershopduet.com so we can get back to you. It's the only way we communicate about our giveaways, and then check back here on our first July episode to see if you are our lucky winner.
Best of luck.
Well, my socks are blown off so far, I don't even think I'm going to find them again.
Yeah, I would agree. I'm actually very excited. We're going on a walk after this, and we are going to smell fabulous.
And I'm going to call McFarlane and tell him that he was absolutely right about this, and any other suggestions he might have going forward are going to rocket to the top of our list. That man's nose knows.
Yeah, he definitely dug to find us this magical treasure chest, and I'm so glad you found your ways to make it happen. Thank you so much, Michael. Don't forget your next appointment with the Barbershop Duet.
You'll smell better just watching this.